I did not expect to ever have to trek through the trains and through the tunnels of the MTA.
Nicholas Hernandez spent Ida stuck underground.
This is a little bigger problem than just a regular delay.
Smoke from a nearby fire flooded the car while Ida flooded the subway from outside.
It was just trying to help people kind of climb down the train. Thank you.
3 hours later, he was out. Team 12 Investigates found that the MTA has dozens of floodgates that they've never used. Not during Ida, never. Flex gates and marine doors, designed to prevent the world's largest subway system from flooding.
This past summer proved that that list is not effective because we've seen flooding in areas of the city which we're not used to seeing before.
The transit agency says you can't use this equipment for a flash flood disaster like Ida because it was built for a coastal storm like Superstorm Sandy, when water surged over the coastline.
Are there any plans to use something like a flex gate for a flash flood type situation?
No, there are not.
Most of the stations Ida turned into waterfalls weren't the ones outfitted after Sandy, so even if the MTA wanted to use those gates, it wouldn't have mattered. The stations hit by flash floods either don't have resiliency equipment, or if they do, it would take too long to deploy them.
10 to 8 hours.
Time for installation, but also to evacuate the subway system.
To stop an entire line or entire portion of the subway system, it just would not be beneficial to our customers.
This flex gate is basically like a pool cover, except instead of covering water beneath, it holds all the water on top.
There are 68 across the city. It takes about 8 staff members to crank open.
It needs a lot of manpower.
Then there are 22 marine doors, massive 2,000-pound floodgates you don't want to get stuck behind.
With these pins locked down, 20 pounds of air pressure sealing this gate shut, no one is coming in this subway or going out.
Protects us from having an inundation of water.
After Superstorm Sandy, the MTA received $7.8 billion federal dollars to get the subway ready for the next flood. They still haven't spent all of it, citing coordination issues with other agencies. And now 9 years later, with nearly $2 billion left in the bank, the MTA could get a possible $10 billion more from the newly passed infrastructure bill.
Raising curbs or lowering streets, depending on how you look at it.
After Ida, identifying over 160 new stations vulnerable to flash flooding, writing a resiliency to-do list with other city agencies, DOT and DEP, who manage the streets and the sewage system.
A joint effort in order to make progress.
With $10 billion in infrastructure funding on the way, it's still not clear that the MTA will use it for flood resiliency at all. It's possible the agency, which carried almost 5.5 million passengers weekly pre-pandemic, is going to ask for even more money from FEMA.
Put all the paperwork in to get FEMA money, and we're waiting for the check.
For now, the system is left with unused resiliency equipment, useless against flash flooding.
Right now, it's pretty much just a Band-Aid.
Yes.
That's unless, with new federal funding, the MTA finds a way to fix it. Sabrina Franza, News 12.
And for more on our Team 12 investigative series, Failing Foundations, including behind-the-scenes photos and even more videos showing how the MTA is using their existing equipment to keep commuters safe, you can scan the QR code right there at the bottom of your screen. Our Failing Foundations series continues every Tuesday right here on the news at 10. Plenty of